Get ready, please.
Back to the Princess Elizabeth, Radley College on the Berkshire station. George Watson's on the Buck station.
Attention.
The starters' orders.
Go.
And they're off.
Probably the most talked about event at the regatta, purely and simply because all of these schoolboys have mummies, daddies, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, so huge support here for the PE, as it's known. Pretty wide open this year, in my opinion. Could even go overseas. We're used to winning it Abingdon, Eton and so on over the past few years, but I believe this event is pretty much wide open this year. Radley doing very well. They've not really been at the front of schoolboy eights over the past decade, but pretty strong this year. George Watson's from Scotland, the Watsonian boys there, doing their best to try and hang on to Radley, but Radley do look to be in another class here, Tim.
They do. They've had a terrific start, Radley. This is junior men's 8. 32 boats entered into the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. Have made it this far to Henley Royal Regatta, a real highlight of many of these rowers' careers. And Radley College look intent on seeing round 2 action in the Princess Elizabeth. George Watson's trailing off there. This is the biggest deficit we've seen all day so far.
Yeah, it's quite a margin. You see the, I don't know whether you can see there on the right-hand side of your screen the marker board. So as the boat goes past, they will pull up the number 1 marker, and then as the second boat goes past on the other station, they will put up the number 2. And if they're in touch, you can generally tell by the distances on the boards. You can see there the number 1. The number 2 would go up if they're in touch, but there's quite a big distance here, so it would probably stay towards the bottom. The 318 there, that's the time. That would be the time to that marker point, and all this information is then relayed back to the start, and this is how it's been done for years.
Charming traditions.
Well, there is the technology here. There is the technology. It's just that it's very hidden behind the Edwardian garden party, but all the technicals backup is at this regatta. But what you see hasn't changed for years. And what you see here is Radley really winding it down now as they go to the crossing point just before the enclosures, and they have a substantial lead.
Yes, the technicals subtly in the background, as are George Watson's college in this race against Radley College, who look, as long as they don't head too far left towards that boom, which must be a little bit of a concern right now for Sean Gearing, the cox. He wants to keep his boat central rather than flirt with the boom on the left of your picture. Many a crew down the years, over the 176 years of Royal Regattas here at Henley, have come unstuck going too close to that boom, but Radley will try and avoid that particular fate. Right, they do. They'll be into round 2 against George Watson's college. George Watson's college struggling to stay in touch from early on in the race. And Radley have slowed their stroke rate right down here. We won't see too many stroke rates slower than that. There's a bit of a wobble for the boat as well.
My rate meter doesn't go that low. That's not a lot of strokes.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Not a lot of strokes in an hour there, let alone a minute.
Look at it. They've slowed the rate right down. And in contrast, George Watson's working frantically to try and get back in, but there's far too much of a deficit for them to make up in this final few hundred metres. Radley College shortening, and well, they're just trying every trick in the book to cruise over the line here.
Some big lads in that boat, and there'll be a bit of rah-rah Radley going on as they cross the line.
Lots of local supporters. Radley only 10 miles from Henley. Local waters for them as they coast towards the finish line. I've enjoyed that one. They've shown us every technique in the book, haven't they? And here come Radley over the line now.
And England beat Scotland, probably not for the first time.
Oh, we're all supporting Andy Murray up at Wimbledon, so we're all Scots this week, I think.
We are indeed.
Radley College then. Successful against George Watson's college in the Princess Elizabeth.